Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the How to Craft Network. My name is Claire Manning from Thirsty Brush, and I'm going to be doing another card making demonstration for you today using our recently launched Happy Hour collection. So I must say thank you to you all if you watched our first ever live launch on the How to Craft Network on the Thursday just gone. It was an absolutely amazing show. Me and Tony did it all together. She was helping me out, going through the bundles, so I could do as many demonstrations as possible for you. You loved the designs, you loved seeing us both on the shows, and it was really, really good fun. So what I wanted to do today is do a demonstration using the anemone, is that how you say that flower? I think so. Anemone frame, because we didn't get to see that on the live launch. So I'll be getting on with that at the moment. If you haven't been here before, if you're new or you haven't subscribed yet to the channel, do pop on and click the bell and the subscribe button, and you will get notified of all the videos both myself, Tony and other crafters who come to the How to Craft Network do in the studio here at Stamps by Me. So it's a really fun place to be. There's tons of content almost every day now. And I'm so pleased to be back here, being able to do these live shows for you now the restrictions are easing after COVID. Still got a bit of way to go, but it's on the right track, isn't it? So let's get on with the crafting. So let me show you the anemone set that I mean. So you get this lovely 5x7 frame, floral frame stamp with all the foliage. But what is really, really cool and what makes it different to other things that are out there that you may have seen with a similar kind of style of frame stamps is the die that comes with it. So you get a two-part die. I'm going to be using the inner bit today. That will cut out a lovely aperture in the centre here. But also this plate die is so unique because that's going to take out those details of petals and leaves for you to give you a really fresh, something different that you just won't have seen before. And as well as my demonstration, I'll show you an extra couple of cards from the design team to see the different options that you've got with that. So let's get on. Just pop that aside for the moment. So just ahead of time, I've done just a black stamped frame outline. This is a 5x7 or slightly smaller than 5x7 piece of card to go on my 5x7 card blank. And I want to show you a really cool colouring technique today for this. So I've got some water-based brush pens. You may have seen me, if you've been a long follower of me and Thirsty Brush, you may have seen me do something similar to this before. So I've got a few pinks and a few greens, and these are the Kuretake brush pens that I've had in my stash for a long time. But this is the kind of technique that you're going to be able to do with a lot of the kind of water-based brush nib type pens, because we're going to use the pen and a bit of water on a brush as well. It won't work with the alcohol markers, so your gossip ones that are in the gold or the Spectrum Noir or anything like that, the alcohol-based ones. But water-based, have a go with whichever ones you've got already, if you have any in your stash, and see what kind of effects that you can get. Play around as well with different types of cardstock with them, because sometimes you get smoother blends on depending on the type of white cardstock you're using. So they are water-based, so that it's not going to show up colour on darker cards like your navies and your black, but whites or creams, if it's watercolour paper or just standard cardstock, have a play around with what you've got and see if you can get this effect. So let's start off with one of the lovely flowers. I've got a pot of water, my pens and a couple of brushes. I'm mainly going to be using this one, which is just a size 6. Most, as long as it's not too big, like that, to me, that size 10 is probably a bit too big for some of the smaller areas. Got a little one if I need it, but let's try with this number 6. So before I go in with the water, I'm going to blend some of the colour from the pen itself. So on my piece of card, do one petal at a time first, and I'm just putting some colour on straight from the nib, the darker one out of the 3 first, then the kind of medium one, and they will blend together seamlessly within themselves anyway, because they're water-based. Then the lighter, and can you see I've left a little bit at the end of the petal? This is where you're going to be able to create light and shade by just adding on a damp brush, not too wet, and just going over it and blending out through the petal there. So let's go around. You can do one petal at a time. Let's see if we can do a couple. You might want to do them one at a time, one petal at a time while you're practicing, because you don't want the ink to dry out too much before you use the water, otherwise you won't get as seamless a blend. Only because I've done this a few times before. So I've gone dark, medium, light, back in, and I do put the brush, kind of swipe it to the side there, so it really is just damp. It's not sopping wet with water at all, because all you're doing is blending out any hard edges. So just the damp brush, that's all you need. You can always add a bit more water if you need to, but if you soak it, it's difficult to go back and kind of rescue it at that point. And it gives you a kind of watercolour painted look, but you don't have to worry about being a watercolour artist and using the paints as such. If you're familiar with using pens to blend, all you're doing then is just a tiny bit of water just to soften it. So dark, medium, light, leave a little white gap, and then back on again to soften that. And that's one flower done already. So just before I go on to do the other flowers, let's do a few leaves. I'm going to use the same technique, but because the leaves aren't as big as the petals on that flower, I'm only going to use one pen at a time. So I've got 3 different shades of green, so I can add some interest. Let's take this one first and do some of these leaves. Now this is where it gets really clever, because actually you can get light and shade with just one pen. If it's got enough depth to it and it's not too light, so I take that green about 1/3 of the way up that leaf, that damp brush again, and go up the leaf. So you'll notice I don't put my water all over the dark area. So some of that dark there has not been touched by the water at all. That's pure colour, and that's what allows you to get that real dark to light shade with your water-based pens. So same technique again, I'm just adding a bit of colour at the base third of each of those leaves, and then just the damp brush over the edge of where that dark green is, just to blend it out. Light and shade, instant. Do these couple over here, and then we'll swap to a different green. So I've got like a brighter and then a more tealy, so let's use the brighter one. Let's go to these leaves over here. It might be a different shape, but the technique is exactly the same. So about 1/3 of the way up. A few at a time. That's those leaves. Let's go around and do this other flower over here. So I'm going to make it, I'm using the same colours so it tones. I'm only going to use 2 out of the 3 now for this one, and see how that looks. So I'm going to skip out the kind of medium colour and just see if that gives us, it will tone in with this one, but just a little bit of variation. So that was the darker. If you have these Kuretake pens, the colours I am using, just to let you know, are light carmine, Pink Flamingo and Tea Rose for the pinks. And I'll let you know the greens in a minute when I go back to those. So damp brush again. Exactly the same technique whether you're using 2 pens, 3 pens or just the 1 pen. The only difference is that before you use the water you just blend your 2 shades in. You have one darker than the other and blend those 2 shades in together. So which green haven't I used yet? This one's just called green. The brighter one that I did was light green. And this, I was going to say olive green, is actually called olive green. So that's if you're interested in those, which ones I'm using. I think lots of you that have come to my shop in the past have bought these from me because you've seen me use them on cards. Oh, this green's really bright, it's almost tealy. The same again, that was just one colour. This is a little petal here. I'm going to use just a light on that one. So it's all about creating variation with actually quite a small colour palette. So rotating your colours around the design, and this is true whether you're using a frame like this or say you're doing a full background or a painting even. You're sticking to the same colour palette, but you're kind of switching it around and putting them next to each other in different ways. And it makes all the difference. And you need a tiny bit of colour on those kind of ferns. One more kind of half flower over here. So let's do the darker one and the lighter one to match that. The same type of flower. And kind of the looser the better when you're using the pens and your brush. Things haven't got to be absolutely perfect. It's supposed to be that kind of loose watercolour painted look, but just with the ease of using your pens. Last bit of green on this fern over here. And then we'll have a look at that lovely dye. Blend that out a little bit. Sneaky little leaf there. What I really like about this frame stamp is that it can be used whichever way up you want. So you can have it portrait or landscape, any way round you prefer. So finishing my pens. So I'm going to use the central die to take out, it'll only fit round one way, if I can get it. There we go. Let's get my plates. And I'll run that through the die cutting machine and it's just going to slip out that middle piece all in one go. A little bit of tape. So thank you again for all tuning in, excuse me, to Thursday's launch. It was great to see so many of you watching. But if you did miss out on anything, please don't worry. Those designs will be going to Create and Craft as well in May. So I'll give you more details of that very soon. So that's just taking out the centre. If you wanted to, I'll just show you these 2 cards from the design team. If you wanted to do the taking out of the central pieces of the flower as well, that one's been done with gold embossing on white, and then Gemma's done that one on black and added some colour. So it's just a completely different look again. You don't necessarily have to be doing the colouring for that. If the watercolouring isn't really your thing, or pen colouring, that's fine. You can just stamp out the image take out the centre and those detail bits of the flowers, and you've got an instant card. I'll just take that bit out. And that's given me now a lovely aperture. I think that caught on my paper a little. Do a sneaky repair job there. I think my paper's a bit too sticky. But all is not lost. Look, I'll just stick an extra bit of pen on my brush, and you won't notice that. So let's stick that on my card. I've got some gold to go behind, like a satiny gold card. You know, I love my metallics, but I really loved this satiny gold one. I can't remember where it was from. Oops, not quite straight, sorry. Pull that back off if I can. I'll put it on one key, so let's get that back on straight. Do it with my wet glue. Better. And then I'm going to glue this on the top. And we've got a lovely gold border then on the top and the bottom. And through that aperture in the middle. So like I say, this can go any way up. I quite fancy it with this lovely kind of poppy style, or the anemone. So that's our base. And then on this one, for the sentiment, what I've done is the set comes with this lovely "Hey, it's your birthday." And if you noticed on the release on Thursday, we also did these effervescent stamp sets, which I think were in bundle 2 with the kind of margarita style glass. What I've done is I stamped out this element here, and I cut out, using a couple of my circle dies in my stash, these 2 circles, and I'm just going to add them behind this sentiment just to make it pop out and an extra little bit of flourish and kind of modern look to it. So let's get some tape on the sentiment, the "Hey, it's your birthday." And you'll find loads, I bet you loads of your sentiments in your stash already will fit in this. I just want to kind of decide where I'm positioning these. I want to do, yeah, I think that will work. Just a little bit of glue on those as well. And then that really pops out from that aperture with the white on the black of the sentiment. Just to finish off, I'm just going to add some little dewdrops of these lovely water droplets that Tony did a while ago. Sequins, if you've got them, whatever you've got lying around. Just 3 of those. So let me show you another version of this card as well. So that's the one we've done today. Let me just get out of the way for the photo on that one. And then I will also show you one that Leanne did that was similar. So that's today's one. And then this is another version of the same kind of concepts, the anemone frame. Leanne did, stamped hers and embossed it in our pure white luminosity embossing powder, but a similar technique for the colouring in, and just stamped the "Hey, it's your birthday" on a white background. So really fun, really easy to do. You can practice your colouring, or if you use the other bit of the die as well, you can have an instant card with hardly any work. So I hope you enjoyed that, guys. Don't forget now, the Thirsty Thursday and the Sunday Chill will be here live as far as all the easing of restrictions goes. As long as I'm allowed to travel here now and everybody's safe, I will be back here live in the studio on the How to Craft Network every Thursday and Sunday at 1 p.m. So it's been a joy to come back, and I will see you next Thursday. Take care, guys. See you soon.